Hello, I'm Bridget Parvin, and this is...
And I'm Doug Parvin.
And we're so happy to join you this week for Serenity and Sobriety, our live feed. Thank you for your love and support. And as you know that have been with us before, we have a topic for the week. We have questions and answers. And what you're really here for is the angel readings. Yes, so as you're scrolling down...
Yay.
Oh,
this
good,
is
here
actually
we
take
are.
two, so
Take two.
we're still working on it.
We already did like
Thank you for
5
joining.
minutes of another one. So anyway, post your questions down here. Say hello. Ask for any readings, and we are here to be of service for you. Yes, we are, and thank you so much for your love and support. So this week's topic that we have is...
Unity.
Unity. So we were praying about it and meditating about it, and it just felt that there was really a need for it, and we both came to the conclusion that that would be the best for what is going on our planet right now.
And always.
And always.
And always. Unity, yeah.
Unity, that love, that connection, not divisiveness. And I do have a quick story to share with you. So as many of you know, I also do hair, and I'm an author for the upcoming book, How to Get Your Life Back, that Doreen Virtue and I wrote, and it will be published by Hay House in 2018. And some of my friends, lots of people private message me and say, did I miss something? Did I miss the book coming out? I'm like, believe me, when that book comes out, you will hear. You'll hear it across the planet. And I'm just so excited to be
I should go back in the YouTubes and see when she found out about it. We had to go to a waterfall because she was being so loud. Waterfall.
Yes. So believe me, friends
funny.
that are private messaging, you haven't missed anything yet. You will definitely know. And I thank you so much for your love and support and questions about the book. And so I also do hair. And one of the things that in 1994, when I opened my chemical-free hair salon, I was guided to do that. A lot of my decoration in there had to do with animals, wildlife, and beautiful Arctic animals, and just the beauty of wolves and seals, every animal that you could think of. And I really love the Sierra Club and any organizations that are on behalf of supporting and being advocates for our animals, dolphins, whales, everything. And so I have a lot of clients from the Sierra Club, and it's amazing because as me being a confidant for
the
them.
Ocean Defenders Alliance, too.
Oh, yes, absolutely love them. Love, love, love them. And so what happened is they used to kind of go toe-to-toe, butting head-to-head, and they would, one of the biggest things that they would do is go to have court cases, hearings, etc., etc. Somewhere midstream, as I was talking to one of my clients, we had some stuff going on in Tahoe, in Squaw Valley, with some things with land and property and some expansion up there. He said they were actually meeting in conjunction to meet midstream in the middle. And so it was a win-win situation for both. So what the angels have been coming through and guiding is, when someone has an opinion or an idea, if it's not in alignment or agreement with us, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. What it means is they're just not in agreement with it. And so how do we create harmony? How do we coexist? How do we do all of those things? And so Sierra Club has gotten a lot further by having this vision of listening and creating and meeting each other in the middle road versus the Hatfields and McCoys. And I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. We can learn a lot from that. And so with this unity that is coming up ever so strong, my mentor, Polly, she lives in Florida, and she says, people will die on a hill for their opinion. They'll kind of stake a claim and that, because they want to be right. And so where's the tolerance in that? And that's what we're being called to do right now, and just blanket everything in love. And it's not like putting on rosy glasses and thinking that everything's just lovely and beautiful. All is in divine order. And how can we contribute to that versus taking away from that. And I'll pass off some time. I talked enough for now on this, and I'll pass some time off to Doug.
Well, and the thing about unity is too, it's like if, trust me, I wouldn't, it would be very boring if we all thought and did the same thing. So it's like
Yes.
having these ideas and these other things, coming together. And I understand the passion of, a project or passion of groups or, anything like that. But it's also, I love the traditions in Alcoholics Anonymous. They have the 12 traditions, not just the 12 steps, but the 12 traditions. How do we get along with everybody, with one another, and how do we move forward in this? And one of, like, in the first tradition, it's about unity, and it talks about how do we get along together, or sometimes it's people that normally wouldn't mix, and how do we come together and do that, because we have this common purpose. We all, if you really get down to it, we all really want the same things. But it can be obscured by, fear. It can be obscured by, basically it's like two things. It's usually I'm not going to get my way, or I'm going to lose something I think is mine. Mm-hmm. Those are usually the two
Very
things.
good.
And those are the two, two of the things that fear. And those, if you jump over those, you'll get into anger, and then that's what we're not doing. And number one, please pray. It's like, it's like somebody, I love when talk to somebody and, so-and-so's in the hospital or something, I can't do anything. It's like, well, you can pray for them. And it's like, well, I feel like I should do more. It's like, no, let's start with the prayer, and then we can do the other things. That's first and foremost.
Yes.
The power of prayer, and especially in groups and in the churches and the synagogues, and just coming together with others and praying for these things. And most all of us, we want love. We want love, we want security, we want these basic needs. And to feel safe, how do we do that? We start, it's in the 12 steps they talk to, don't think your way into right action, act your way into right thinking. And it's take the actions as if, and the rest will follow. And so, moving into these new ways of living and new ways of interacting with people, and sure, it's like I sit, get on my knees every morning and pray to my higher power, and be gentle with yourself. Sometimes my character defects, if somebody else is working in, if we're on the same path, or we're on this path, we're all on this path, and my character defect flares up, and something, and I want to beat myself up. Well, I can make amends for my action, first foremost, and then see where my mistakes were. Mm-hmm. Then I can, don't beat myself up about it, because, we need to bounce these ideas off each other. And sometimes, if somebody comes at me and maybe their character defect flared up, it's like, well, okay. And if they make amends, that's good. But see where, see if I had a mistake or a part in it in any way, shape, or form. And how to correct that. Because I'm always trying to learn how to be a better person.
Yes.
Be that person that God created us to be. And what He didn't, that's who we are. But I love my grand sponsor, my mentor. He talks about when we're born, we get this magnet. It's on this string, and as we walk through life, we were dragging the magnet through the junkyard of life, and periodically we'll stop and do an inventory, or want to change something in our life, and we turn around, and all of a sudden all this stuff's collected, and we turn around, and it can be overwhelming because this ball of stuff's coming at you, and it's like you need to stop and pause, go through the stuff, clear the stuff away that no longer serves, and move forward. But right now, I understand there's some things going to be going on, some gatherings, some protesting, all that kind of stuff, and if you're called to do that, fantastic. Go have the experience and go do that. If you're not called to do that, fantastic. Have the experience and don't go do that. But please, if you're not, always both sides, everybody, just please pray. Especially, for all beings and all people and all beings. Really called to pray.
Yes. So actually on Saturday, we have the state capitol next to, pretty nearby, and for California, and so what we chose to do is open the yoga studio and have a gathering and hold it in prayer with the women in support of what their vision is and all of that stuff. So we're holding it just for a peaceful outcome of what is going on. And I've done my things. I completely am in support of what's going on. I remember, this is really funny. I had this. I was in cosmetology school, and we were during Desert Storm, and my brother was serving at that time in the Navy, and the girls did my hair up like the Bugle girls. Remember them?
Yeah.
And boy, I was looking hot then. And I bought this uniform costume and had the jacket on with no leggings on underneath, and I was in a car, with a flag like this in the back of a truck, and all these diesels were in it and tow trucks. It was this big, huge thing in the community. And at that point in time, I had been in a relationship that wasn't Doug, and it was one of those ones you can read about it, just about my past of love addiction and codependency. And so I get my instructors clocked me in and clocked me out, and they knew what we were doing, and they just the girls would always have these scrolls and say, send loving messages to our troops, and we'd send them off to my brother, so he was really popular. And I went home that night, and my person that I was in that relationship, we said, how was your day today? And I said, oh, it was great. And he said, how was the stuff with Stan Atkinson? And I said, what, Stan Atkinson? What is he talking about? That's a Channel 3 news reporter. And he had VCR'd it. This shows how long ago that was. He recorded it, and I was at the tail end going, woo, in this hot little dress, and that was pouring down rain, and it actually, the news commentators were busting up, and Stan Atkinson, it was like the icing on the cake. So I mean, I'm all for all of that stuff, and really hold the space for that, and in peace. Please just be in peace with it. Remember, because not to let it cross the line and get out of control. And so in that, what else do you have to cover? Do we have any questions?
Well, it's interesting too. It's like we were talking about unity, and it was interesting because in one of the fellowships, I was at a business meeting, and I was new into being sober, and I had never really been to a business meeting, and there was the two guys there, and where I came from was, you got each other's backs, all that kind of stuff, and
that's like street stuff.
Yeah. And it's like you got
stuff.
your sides, and I picked this side, and we're sticking with that, right, wrong, or indifferent. That's where we're going to go. And these two guys were at this business meeting, and they're like toe to toe, and they're like arguing at each other. And I've got my guy picked, who I've got his back, and blah blah blah. And and I'm just like, yeah. And then I was a lot younger, and and at the end of the meeting, these two guys are laughing and hugging, and I'm sitting there going, what the heck? How can this be? I've given my past. That's the way I've lived my life. It's like you got the back, and you just blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. And here, these two guys have moved beyond that, and they've set aside their indifferences, and they're in unity. They have a common goal, and it's like if we come together and we realize, it's like if you write down, pretty much, I don't care who you are. If you write down what you want, what you need, who you think your higher power is, any of that stuff. We all write the same stuff. I've done inventories with a lot of men, and it's all the same stuff. We all have our own insecurities, and they're all the same. But here, by not sharing about these things, we have these indifferences, and we think that we're different, or we're worse than, or blah blah blah, just all that negative self-chatter. And it's like, it's just not true. It's just not true. So getting with groups and getting with people and sharing these things, and just being your true, authentic self, which is that lovely, warm, beautiful child of God, that spark of light, which we're again called to shine and be. A friend of ours last night mentioned it, Stan Padilla. He mentioned being a pillar of light. Being a pillar. It's like there's a lot of chaos going on. We need some people to be stable.
Right.
You
Don't
know,
lose
and
hope.
hold that
Don't
space
lose hope.
and hold that space. It's like we need these places, you know, that we can go that are, you know, like I said, the churches, the temples, the synagogues.
Yoga
You know,
studios.
yeah.
Yoga studios, meetup groups.
Yeah, on Facebook in the groups, you know, just
Parks.
to be with people who are, you know, you don't get caught up in it. Be, you know, I'm not saying by anywhere to go stick your head in the sand.
Right.
Be aware of, be prudent, you know, be prudent about it, and so.
What I love
And all
about
that stuff, it's like, I remember, like, when Bridget was talking about that stuff, and, you know, and I was out there drinking, and I was, like, all gangbusters, man. I was, like, they wouldn't take me, but it's the military. I thought, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But, you know, do what you're called to do, you know, do what you're called to do, and keeping in mind that we're all here together, you know, and what's best for the greater whole, you know, it says, you know, all things work for the glory of God, all things work together for God, you know, love wins, you know, so just to remember that, you know, given our past histories and stuff, we're sitting here today, and God wins, you know, love wins. And yeah, we don't forget our past or shut the door on it. You know, it can become our greatest asset, you know, because we've been there, done that, and now let's try a new experience, you know. And sometimes in that shift, it's a process.
right.
Yeah.
And what I love also is speaking with Unity before we had the empty nest and our daughter was living at home. What we would have is a family meeting, and we would kind of join together and check in with how people were doing, and if a situation was coming up, if one person was uncomfortable, we would all have a discussion with it, and therefore if one person was uncomfortable, there were 3 of us in the family unit. So if one was uncomfortable, we would not do it because we really considered that other person's viewpoint and didn't want to do any harm. And so we all had a voice, and we all listened, and we continue to do that.
Yeah.
We continue to pause and respond versus reacting. You know, and I do want to make sure that you know, like I'm dating myself again, in the 80s. So I was in high school, and it was my senior year, and I took note that there was weightlifting for boys or young men, and I'm going, well, why can't girls have the weightlifting? So I went and just kind of got a clipboard, went and bought a clipboard, and made a little a petition saying, you know, this is unfair that women do not have weightlifting. This needs to be recognized and set this ball in motion with going and doing it. And I got so many signatures that there was this, it was peaceful though, and there was just this huge momentum of a movement going towards that. Now, did I go lift the weights? No. But it was great to be the person who got that movement going, and it's still going to this day. And later on I got involved in it, but I just liked standing at the door and having everyone come check out that the girls had weightlifting, you know, because...
Whatever it takes.
And the teacher was so happy that I got something like that going. He was like the cat's swallowed the cat's canary or something. So I would like to turn this over now. And there's some questions here. Deborah would love a card. Okay, let's get this one with Deborah would love a card. So I'm going to...
Let's see. It says, I'm totally depressed. What can I do? That's... You know, here's what I do. It's like we're in winter in the northern hemisphere here, and it's like, you know, if you can light a fire, light a fire. If you can burn a candle, burn a candle. You know, flowers. You know, Robert Reeves and his flower therapy.
Oh,
you know,
beautiful,
is
beautiful.
a wonderful resource for all that. You know, natural things. Getting out in community. Yoga. You know, just to get out of. You know, it's like for me, I used to treat my depression by isolating. which, as you know, that just doesn't work. And not to be making light of it, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. And if I'd have known better, I'd have done better. And it's like, finding out what works for you.
And that's with Becky. So Becky, I pulled some cards for you, and one of the things is base chakra that came up. So in it says, choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, finances, as your words determine your outcome. So do a little inner reflection. One thing that's great is you have shared. So you've shared that, so it's not a secret that you're holding on to any longer. And so that helps diminish it and lose its power. Now let's get you out in some outdoors and even bundle up and get outside, get that blood moving, get some circulation going.
High vibration foods.
High vibration foods. And then the middle card is integrity. And the amazing thing is she's surrounded by flowers, which is beautiful, like Doug was mentioning. Lavender oil is a very vibrant.
I grab Robert's.
He's going to go and grab Robert's card. So integrity, align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. So in this, your higher self is trying to reach out for you of switching directions with that. Listen for the divine call and where the angels are whispering in your ear, because when we're in depression, we can get in that funk. It isn't our natural state, yet we can have and pick up tools to get ourselves out of it. And what I would do when I was depressed, amazingly so, was I would drink alcohol. Yeah. What did that do? That was like pouring gasoline on the fire, baby. It was like,
it's a depressant.
Douse, it's a depressant. I had no idea I was doing that. And so here for the latter card is manifestation power, and use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. You're here with us right now. That's taking a step into something beautiful. And would you pull on it?
I actually got two cards. And so the first card, of course, is the rose. It says, open your heart. Your potential for greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past will be healed, and you will be met with the true passion you seek.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then also another card came up with it. Open your arms to receiving with the eucalyptus. You have prayed for help, now be open to accepting it. And that's a big one.
Yeah.
It's like we have all this abundance always available to it, and sometimes just to be a gracious receiver.
Yes. What I love also is in the rooms where I hang out, it's a not a joke, but we kind of get humor in it. Is thank goodness we're not all doing that on the same day. Yeah. So when one is in that mode, another one that's not helps lift it up, and we get to share and identify. Find your tribe. Obviously find your tribe. Working with the angels, working with any volunteer work, and really clear that base chakra up. That's your foundation. And the frequency was, with the lavender, and then the next one is roses. So really tap in and tune into that. I'm getting that it's only temporary. You've got what it takes to move forward in it, and so blessings to you, and thank you for what you're sharing and being transparent and vulnerable with that. Yeah, thank you.
Because you're not alone. That's the thing.
No, we're all prone to that, so it's not a secret. And so I know that Deborah Crabtree would like a card. Okay, is there any particular thing that you would like? How about you pull in a card this time, love?
Yes, I do need those ones. Saints and angels. No, actually, I got Ascended Masters. And
I'm so happy to hear from Amanda Amanda Bradley Brown, she wants to thank everyone for the prayers last week, that Miles is off ventilation, so he has had some major turnaround and lots of good healing, so yay, big miracles.
I pulled three. We're doing 3 cards. I don't know.
We're doing 3 cards.
Apparently.
Get your questions out there.
So, Deborah, So first, the first card that we have crystals.
And here's her question.
Oh, funny.
Yep,
I was just
right?
gonna say it's not. No, I was gonna say
Perfect
children. I see more crystal children. Working with crystal children and the power of joy. Not only, that's one of the highest vibrations there is, and it's the power of joy. And they're both purple, so you got the crown. Working with the crown chakra, and these kids are bringing this new frequency, this new vibration in, and it's like part of as we're more older, I guess, I don't know, to make it a safe place for them to come in, and that's the power of joy, and have that joy. And then the other side of that too is like sometimes like with the indigo children, it says see the other person's point of view, and it's like, and you got the beautiful pink, using Archangel Jophiel, bringing that, seeing all things in love and seeing the other person's point of view, and that's really big right now. It's like having compassion, having understanding. The prayer of St. Francis, to understand rather than to be understood. Seeing that other person's point of view, and again with these children, it's like. A lot of them that I've met, it's like I could just sit there and listen to them all day.
Oh, yes, especially Zena, our granddaughter. She says, we need more unicorn energy on this planet. I'm what else? What else? Talk more. Yeah. Absolutely.
She should be doing these, actually.
Yes. She wants to.
Yeah, we listen to the children. It's like, so.
That's beautiful. Anything else on that?
I think that's all I have. Do you have anything to add to that?
I just think that it's absolutely so true, and it's in alignment with seeing the other person's point of view, that no one's right, no one's wrong, and just kind of that neutral mode in there. So it's really beautiful. And Deborah, you've got a really beautiful daughter there. And
with the anxiety too, it's like 13 year. I mean, that's a big transition. But just to be, the understanding the other person's point of view, being supportive, bring laughter, bring joy. Assist her through that. So, you're doing it already, but to use the essential oils that's coming up a lot, the lavenders,
yes.
Using those oils to help ground.
Clearing the energy. I'm seeing like Himalayan salt lamps and spray sage to just keep that vibrancy, and you're on the road to wellness with that. It already is all good, and it will just continue. So start teaching her some of the things that she's definitely open to it and ready for it. It's now a time. So she chose the perfect mother for her. And so here's Edith, and please give me a reading. I need motivation. I have lots to do, but no energy. Okay, so Edith, what I'm picking up is, yes, and right now is kind of a time where you have a lot to do, and that's understandable. Write the things down and have your list, and instead of looking and being, the angels are kind of showing instead of like this overwhelm. I love what my yoga Ayurveda recovery teacher Durga Lee says. You have your things for the day. There's one day at a time, and you do your best and leave the results to God, and you carry on the next day. So it's not like this thing that everything has to get done that day, but whatever is left off for the day goes back into the following day. And know that, and don't beat yourself up over that. I will pull some cards energetically wise. I'm picking up that you're picking up a lot of the stuff like a sponge of what's going on. Sea salt baths would be very beneficial. Also, they're showing shielding with beautiful light, with pink light going through your heart. And so as you're expanded and going out and about in your everyday goings, that nothing could penetrate through love, And so that you're just extending love out and you're tapping into divine love versus using your energy. So I'm kind of getting that the candle's lit at both ends, burning the candle at both ends. I'll post some cards to see what that's about. Your angels would love to help you with walking through this, and you're going to be okay with it. Oh, I love it. So in this, for the first part is, have you asked the angels for help with this? So bringing that divine connection, knowing that everybody else has a creator, the angels have their back, such as they have your back. And your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene on your free will choices. So a lot of times people will get up in the morning and just kind of like full throttle, put the gas pedal on and just go, 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 go. And it's kind of like this part where the more busier we are, the lengthier meditation would be vital for us. And so even if it's just asking for that divine assistance as a touch tone, kind of like a landing period, just to remember and ask for that divine guidance. If you need a bracelet to remember that, a stone, something tangible with some pictures around your house, just to remember, yes, bringing that divine in. Also, throat chakra is coming up. So I'm getting in it that you say yes a lot and there's a thing, if you say yes, but inside there's a little bit of turmoil where you really wish that you would have said no, and kind of going, oh, I really should have said no, that they're showing kind of like spilled milk, spilled water, that your energy is really like flowing out there. And so they're asking that you bring it back and rein it into your vessel and container. So the angels are helping you with lovingly speaking your truth, saying, thank you for thinking of me, but I already have a commitment during that time. And even that's of you taking care of yourself, putting that oxygen mask on yourself first before, very important, getting in alignment to go help others, and then it won't be as spread out. So for the latter part of it, I'm getting past life issue, and the situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. So in your past life, you also were a healer, but kind of they're showing of looking around and going, kind of like a little bit of anxiety there. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? Well, one of the beautiful things in this lifetime is show them the direction where they can tap into their source, that you're not the source, that they have a source just such as you do. And this will help them stand in their power too. I see that a lot of people lean on you, and it's just kind of like you kind of need not isolation, but you need to decompress and need some space in that. And amazingly, right here also there's the healing hands in that also. So you have a lot of healing energy around you, such as many other people do, and just keep that in balance.
Yeah. And also just checking in too, it's I think it said that you had lots to do, and there was fatigue, and it's like, well, we're in the northern hemisphere here again in California. We're in the United States. We're in winter, and part of that is going inward. The days are shorter. It's like it's just being in the natural rhythms of things. So winter's more of a time of reflection and looking inward, and doing that, getting ready to, again, plant the seeds for the spring, getting in there. So.
Yes, that rootedness, which is that groundedness. And so it's that part of being still. We could be a lot more productive and beneficial to, one, first and foremost, for our own selves, and then for our loved ones and out in the community when we keep all of those all in alignment. There was something with Amanda saying that she had so many experiences in the hospital room with Reiki angels, and wow, I don't even know what to ask. Sometimes I don't believe it was real. You had a host of angels in there. There was a lot of healing going on, and Miles is, they're working with him on behalf of him, and he's just so blessed to have a beautiful earth angel friend such as you, Amanda. And I know for myself, because you're my earth angel friend also. Love you. And if you come up with a question, please feel free. Okay, here you go. So Vanessa Marguerite Smith, hello friends, I'm working on a relationship with my 5 and 10-year-old boys. What a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing. You want to do that one?
That's exciting.
That is.
I'm going to borrow your Mary,
Absolutely.
Mother Mary.
They're yours too. You probably bought them.
That's funny. Number one is, again, it's that we're talking about. It's the topic's unity, but it's also that self-care. Part of that being in unity is to take care. It's like Bridget mentioned the meditation. To do the meditation so that we can be more still. Taking that self-care. It's like when I take care of myself, things like, the guy in the line with the 10 items or less, and he's got, 15 or 20, it's like I'm less likely to be upset about it. So self-care. And 5 and 10, wow, that's awesome.
Yes, and you could speak your truth with love in that unity. Just don't
Children's
shortchange
the middle
yourself.
card, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tenderness, children, and home. So perfect.
Wow. What an amazing life purpose.
Yeah, so tenderness. I am both gentle and powerful. And it's also, you've got a couple powerhouses, I'm sure. And, it gives you the opportunity to work with that, work with yourself. And here again, part of that is seeing it through the eyes of, one of the other cards is seeing it through the eyes of somebody else and seeing it through the eyes of the kids. And the middle card here, we got children. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive changes for them and me. So here again, I know like when I get to work with kids or, it's like I'm, sometimes forget, I am the adult in the situation, but I love to hear their perception and perspective and this newness and this, this innocence and this, I can get wrapped up in listening to what they're doing. And it's also, real quick story about that, and remembering that I'm the adult. So I was watching my granddaughter. She was 4, I think, at the time, and babysitting her. And so we were out, and it was summertime, and she had chalk. She has chalk that she colors on the sidewalk or out in the backyard, out on the porch with. And she gets this look on her face. She looks at me. She goes, "Let's chalk our faces." And I said, "Well, I don't know about that." And she says, "Oh, come on, like me and Mommy do it." And I was like, "Well, okay, Mom's doing it. That's cool. It's like, okay, it must be okay." So we chalk up our hands and get our faces all blue and everything. And I think it's really fun, and we're having fun. And so I took my phone and I take some pictures. Here we are. And Mommy came home, says, "Well, what'd you guys do?" And I said, "Oh, we chalked our faces." She gets this interesting look on her face, and she's like, "What?" And I showed her the pictures, and she says, "We've never done that before." I said, "Well, she told me that her and Mommy do it all the time." And so anyway, prudence with children, let them be kids, but then again, and part of that was me being a kid too. So it's loving yourself as well. Where it says down here at the end, positive changes for them and me. I had fun. And the last one here is home. Trust and follow my divine guidance about my home. So you know the answers. You know the answers. That's the thing too. Getting back to this with the unity and self, and it's like one of the things my dad said that I still carry. It says if you have to ask the question, you know the answer. And so it's checking in with yourself. Mm-hmm. Is this okay? Is this good? And the other side too is just have fun with the boys, because they one of the best things in the rooms here again in the Al-Anon rooms. I was a busy construction foreman, and our daughter Noelle, she was 12 or something, and she wanted to go snowboarding, and I was work. And he pulled me off, afterwards he pulled me off to the side and he says, you need to go take that girl you need to go take her snowboarding. And today I'm still tremendously grateful for what he told me, because she's not going to be young and she's going to grow up and not, do that and, take advantage of this time with them now. And so I'm forever grateful, because it's like, okay, we didn't go to work on a Friday and we went snowboarding, and I am forever grateful to pause, enjoy the moment, because these are moments that pass. So
Yes, they are. And Becky has a question. Does Crystal and Indigo children struggle with anxiety more? Becky, good question. Crystals don't really, because they're open with their hearts. It's just like pure essence of pure divine love. They're really, really connected. They've been here to bring great love to our planet, such as indigos have also. What happens with indigos is they're leaders, they're trailblazers, and they're also like sponges. And so if it's in the area where it's not supported very much in that kind of environment, they could soak up all the anxiety around them of where they live, in the neighborhoods, the school environment, and they're really wanting to be movers and shakers. Sometimes some things get in the way, and so a lot of times the practice of self-care and removing anxiety from them, such as calling on the angels, vacuuming the house and with Archangel Michael, and doing things where their chakras are
what
cleared.
do you mean by vacuuming the house?
By vacuuming the house is with calling upon Archangel Michael.
Not literally vacuuming with
Yes. So this is with Becky and Amanda, because this answers both questions. You call upon Archangel Michael to invoke him in a prayer, and we're not worshiping angels. We're calling first and foremost on our Creator of our own understanding. Angels are messengers, and what Archangel Michael's job is he helps remove fear, gives courage, and just kind of cleans spaces and does all of that. So we ask him to go into our house and vacuum it, which means he removes the energy that is no longer energetically. It's kind of like a Swifferifer, kind of like one of those, and vacuums all of that energy out of there. And then what you do is just ask for the angels to fill the room then with white light. If the energy feels stagnant or stuck and you can't place your finger on, you just kind of walk in there, and energetically it doesn't feel right. Sometimes they're from previous people who lived there. There may have been arguments. There may have been a source of someone may have been ill there. Even the person building the house could have had an attitude as they were in, so energetically like an imprint or on the land. So you just ask for your angels. You could deepen it by even asking for Archangel Michael to be on a corner, and then a band of mercy angels on the other corners of the house to work on continually cycling that cleansing, and so that will help greatly. Also, one of the things that one of my my sponsor in the rooms a long time ago told me to place my hand on the door and say, God, go before me, God is in here. And that always helped too, to remind me that wherever in the house something was going on, that the presence of God, my Creator of my own understanding, was in there. So I knew immediately it was filled with white light.
Yeah.
And doing that is lovely, because we have some businesses here in Auburn, and it's amazing. We get the monks that come through. Beautiful, beautiful souls, and the Tibetan monks. And so as we send out our emails and tell our friends about it in the community, they say, well, I already feel so good when I go in your space anyway, that, they basically say to have your business blessed again is it already feels good in there. But that's a practice that we do continually at work on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So I highly encourage it. It's you do feel the difference in it. So I hope that answers your questions. Let's see, we've got about 10 more minutes. Looking on the time.
Oh, and Deborah, it looks like You might also look into sound healing, calming. There's a lot of stuff. Sound healing, just as simple as a crystal bowl or a Tibetan bowl, playing.
Yes, that's a really beautiful thing for anxiety. Also, Nidra Yoga, which is a guided meditation, and it is a scan of the body that you completely review and release any tension, any holding onto. So it really helps with anxiety, PTSD, and other things such as that. I have it on our website, right? Under
Yes.
and
We have a
it's-
Yoga Nidra.
Yes.
And you can just listen to it there, or you can download it.
Yeah, so you can listen to it and keep on tapping into it, and you don't have to, from our website, you don't have to pay, so we're not trying to upsell or
you
anything.
stream it with-
However, if you want it on your phone for it personal, so you don't always have to go to our website, which we don't mind anyway, we'd love to have you there.
What is our website?
It's www.bridgetparvin.com.
That'll get you there.
Okay, that'll get you there. So, yes. And then if you want it on your personal phone, so it makes it traveling easier, or that you are laying in bed at nighttime where you could just have it downloaded, then that's also very convenient. So I would like to pull from this beautiful card deck of the Jesus card deck
For
for a message,
okay.
just for guidance,
Oh, we're getting
just
close.
for guidance for today. Okay, so here we are, and it is, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven, Matthew 5:16. So once again, with that, these cards are from Doreen Virtue, and they're the Jesus message deck. They're for meditation. So that is, you could do that meditation. It's like a mantra, and just practice that. And so that's so your light can shine vibrant. And we honor all religions. We honor all paths of life. And those are the types of things in spiritual truth. All religions have spiritual truth, spiritual principles, and that's what we're looking for, is those nuggets where they're similar and not in the division of it. And there's just beauty from it. And so really pull together in that. And Amanda would like some cards.
Well,
So-
that card there, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's like in all times, but in this time, let your light shine before men and women, that they may see all your good works and the glorify the Father in heaven. And it's like our good works, it's like trying to grow and learn and, get sober, all of these things to raise the vibration of individually, but it's, in unity together, we can hit that critical mass, we start raise that vibration, it's going to shift. So.
And also in that part where you say sober, I love it with that sobriety, that peacefulness, sober mind of purifying the thoughts, and positive affirmations help with that.
Thinking, yeah.
Clear thinking, that's what that means. I remember when I was, before I got into recovery, one of my old best friends, she was so crazy. I mean, you would almost think she was drinking, and people were like, oh my goodness, she's drunk. And no, she wasn't drunk. She was just crazy. And I mean, it was just cancel, clear, delete. But what I'm saying is, that sobriety, that peace of mind, that sobriety with our eating, with any peaceful thoughts that enhance that, our lifestyle, whatever is an addiction and pulling us away from going inward and creating havoc in our lives and in other people's, that's where we're taking a look at where sobriety is really beneficial. So there's no judgment on it. It's just like behavioral patterns, addictions, love addiction, relationship addiction, approval seeking, internet.
There's a friend of ours that says if you're not in at least 3 programs, you're in denial.
I love that. Yes, that's absolutely true, right?
Or working on something. You don't have to be, I mean, if
Yes.
you're working on something, working on in 3 areas.
So I'm going to pull some cards for Amanda here. Oh, this is really good. Okay, so here you go, Amanda. We've got the Archangel Gabriel cards, and it's perfectionism. Polishing your creative project is fine, but don't allow perfectionist fear to result in procrastination. So just go. Just get it going. One of the things, I love this, and I've got to tell this. One time, one of my clients does hiring for some really phenomenal company, and he's a resource for that. And I said, I bet you just love it, and you look for someone who gets everything, dots their I's, crosses their T's. And he says, no, Bridget. He says, the one who moves forward and we pick up the pieces later. He said, the perfectionist, you can't get the job out of their hands. And so, because they're toying with it so much. So, in other words, is look at it through the eyes of just getting it done to the best of your ability at that point in time, and let it go. Let it go. Leave the results up to God, and just don't let that stop you. Don't let it stop any progress from moving forward. And then here we have share your art with the world. It's time to allow others to enjoy your creative work. Amanda, this comes in all ways for you.
Yes.
You have got, oh my goodness, you are a ball of enthusiasm. And this spark of light, that enthusiasm is the breath of God, and whatever you touch will turn to gold. You've got that Midas touch, and just they're not even showing sprinkle it out. They're just like sweep it out, because it's just this, you've got this mover and shaker inside of you, because you have such a strong divine team behind you. And so in this, for the third card is express your inner truth. And it's your creative work shines brightest when it reflects your genuine feelings and thoughts. And so share your message, carry your message. And in this, where there's just this peacefulness, this blanket, and in that, go inward where your silence is, tap in, tune in, and then what your messages are, don't even filter them, just let it roll, let it spread, and let that good news carry. It's so beautiful in that. And Janine Porter, pull a card for Janine. She feels, pull 3 cards for her. Oh, where'd she go? Janine, I've been feeling stuck in a few areas of my life, going through a rough time. Would you pull a card? You got it, Janine. Doug will be doing that for you.
Oh. Mother Mary, and nurture yourself. Here again, we're in this season in winter, and it's, going inward and taking that, it's brown earth, it's taking that time, giving yourself a break. Interesting, see the other person's point of view. And sometimes it's moving through things. It's like putting like when we're working in a relationship, it's like putting aside the perceived wrongs or perceived things that others have done. What were my mistakes? Where did I set this ball in motion? How did I start this going? Because it's like a lot of times by doing that, if having that finger pointing outwards, we're giving our that's where we're giving our power. We're putting it out there, and it's like no, keep that power. Keep it inward. And then the next one is the power of joy. Interesting, those are popping up.
Wow.
Today.
Wow.
And the joy is, again, the high vibration. Bringing joy into it. Watching comedies or having fun or doing things. Listening to the children talk. There's a limitless. It's like what? Perspective.
That's beautiful. I am in this. This is beautiful. The power of joy, and the amazing thing is there's that rainbow. And so look for the rainbow. There is that pot of gold at the end, and then they're going like, girl, get those chakras moving. Um,
yeah.
I'm just picking up on getting those swirling around. Just go, and I know it sounds funny, but the Archangel Michael said this. He's going, go shake your booty. It's what's happening. So put on some music, dance, go do some yoga, or do some chakra dancing, and just get that energetically moving. Okay. And so here's Lavender Cherry. May she have a card, please? And we're getting close to the time. Absolutely, you may have a card. Okay, so Lavender Cherry. I love that name. Such a beautiful name. Okay, so here we go. Lavender Cherry. Archangel Raphael is the healing angel, is with you, supporting your healing work. So get it going. No more thinking about it. No more processing. They're showing that it's kind of thought about it for a long time, and kind of it's been simmering and brewing. And they're showing like a tea kettle, but it's been brewing like so long that now steam's coming out. So get moving. You have exactly what you need to get forward with your life purpose. That includes you teaching workshops and seminars. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. So as you teach, you will be learning. As you learn, you will teach. And so get in this thing. So all of this stuff that you've been learning, it's time to pass that on now. Pass that torch and help light the candles of the people around you in your community. And then at the latter part, for the last card, there is release with Archangel Michael. Work with him to let go of what no longer serves you on your purpose. So it's showing that kind of caught up in the grind and have all this stuff, but now just kind of take a look and go, okay, this has served its purpose. I no longer have to do this because it's taking you away. It's kind of like not a roadblock, but it's leaking out. It's leaking out and draining on some of your time. So rein it back in is what the angels are saying. And you got it. You got it. You're on the right path. Just kind of some little bit of fine tuning there. And do we have time for you to pull some cards from Mary Frances Anastasia?
Good. Listen, take charge of the situation, and open your heart to love with Jesus. So, first of all, it's like even here the topic today is unity. You know, sometimes it's just, if situations are going on, it's just sit back for a little bit and listen to what's going on. And then once you've listened and assessed what's going on, then you take action. Then you take action, appropriate action, you know, and move forward. And it's all in opening your heart to love. So when you stop and pause and listen, you're less likely to, or I'm less likely to react as much. So it's like just sitting back and listen to, you know, the other side of the story, or the other side of the conversation, and listen to what's going on. And then by taking charge of that, interestingly enough, this is also a green heart chakra color card. And it's also blue with the throat chakra, you know. And it's always, you know, there's a picture of Moses, and he's actually looking up, you know. But, you know, offering that up to your Creator, you know, making those words that you do speak, you know, speak with love. Using that high vibration that you have. And again, opening your heart to love. That, of course, and it's also, this is, you know, getting out in nature. Jesus is here sitting with the animals out in nature, and that's opening that heart, and, you know, just taking time for yourself, you know, self-love.
Wow, there seems to be a really big theme for all of us. So there's a pretty powerful message that we all could take note of. Do we have time for a couple of more, or are we? How's the time?
It's about 4 minutes.
About after. 4. Okay, so what's that mean?
That means it's about 4 minutes after. So we started a little late.
Okay, we started. Yay. Okay, so here we go. Kristen Green, could you pull a card in reference to love at this time? Absolutely. Okay, so. Oh, Kristen, wedding is coming up, and this situation involves marriage. And so in this, know that it's all in your aura, in your etheric field. You've done a lot of work to be available and present in this situation. So don't try to sabotage it is what's coming through. You deserve great love, and know that your angels are with you. So it's someone from your past that is going to be sharing this life with you. And so it will be a reconciliation. And so you will be sharing quiet time with them in retreat. And it's time to disconnect from the world. So really be knowing and focused on that, loving yourself so you can share that great love with someone else. And knowing what your true heart's desires are, what your wants and needs are in a relationship, and not to compromise, and then look it through it with spiritual eyes, and then look and see, where do I offer these things of the wants? Where do I offer these things of the needs? And if there's room to grow, then there's room to grow. Sit on that and digest it and meditate and pray on that. And if there's not room to grow, then that's great too. But you do have great love around you, and all around you. You've got a lot to offer. So to make that complete and whole is, you know what your divine source is, and so you're not looking to fill in that hole, and it's all beautiful. So love is in the air. Love is in the air. And there we go. I think does that conclude? Mm-hmm. Now, if people put any card questions on here later in the week as they're watching this, if they were working or sleeping or anything and they put questions on cards, do you want to answer them during the week?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll be here. Stay on this page.
Be patient with us. We're not always on Facebook, so.
Yeah, be patient.
Put your, if you have a question, go ahead and put it on there, and we'll get back with you.
Yes, we do. It doesn't mean that we're like living on this live feed. So we will be back in to touch bases and connect again. Please share this page with your friends, how to get your life back. Please share the live feed, getting it out there. As you know, we are getting ready to be able to share this with more of the world by you sharing this page with people. And so you can find me on the Facebook page, How to Get Your Life Back, with the book page with Doreen Virtue, or you can follow me on Instagram, and you have a page also.
Yeah, we're working on Sober Lightworkers.
Yes.
So that's a Facebook page, at Sober Lightworkers. And it's Lightworkers, that's exactly what it sounds like. In recovery, raising that vibration that we're all trying to do.
Yes.
And working on doing.
So we'll see you same place, same time, next Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're sending you lots of love.
Thank you guys so much for joining us and supporting us and helping us grow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And so we'll close with, we love you lots. We love you lots. We love you whole bunches. And namaste.
Namaste.
The light in me honors the light in you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I always forget. It's like we have to get up to turn this off.